Hello, Josh Tufnell here, and today I want to talk about fear and overcoming fear. I'm just down on the beach sheltering from a shower, but hopefully I'll wander out in the drizzle in a minute and take you for a wander as well while I talk. So, fear can be overcome with a calm mind and presence of heart. Fear is like a dangerous disease. Look at the quote, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And you might see what I mean. It can take a situation like what we are and have experienced with COVID-19, and it can take what is already a challenging situation, and it can exaggerate that situation, and it can even create many more problems. Let's see if I can go for a wander now. So we can experience even more danger from fear than what existed in the first place. The chaos we're seeing in the world right now is not actually a bad thing, because chaos is it's the mother of all opportunity. So we really have an opportunity to change the world for the better. And we must recognise and use this. Let's not fear this change. Anything outside of our comfort zone can cause fear, because we don't know what will happen and if it's going to harm us. So in this way, fear is our natural protection from harm or even death. But the problem really comes when we let fear control us. Positive change is really happening right now in the chaos. And I believe that we can really use this time to make the world a better place. I really believe that. Such a good opportunity. So, stress and anxiety are forms of fear. Calm mind is so important. Stress and anxiety are opposites of a calm mind. Fear comes hidden in many, many forms. Procrastination, perfectionism, resistance, insecurity, to name just a few. So fear and doubt can stop us making a choice. And that can be a problem. They can stop us from action. When we view a situation clearly, then that can come from a grounded and powerful place of strength. But fear can stop us from stepping out and making much needed changes too. I think it's helpful to remember that making a choice is better than not making a choice. There's less fear when the mind is made up. Indecision leads to doubt, which leads to fear. So trust your heart. Sometimes just making a choice instantly allows you to feel what is right anyway, because you're actually doing something and your body knows what's right. Your heart knows. So the course of action becomes clear. So, grounded action can dissolve fear. Sometimes time is required before acting. But life is for living. It's really precious. The longer we wait to take that required action, the longer we stay living in the shadow of what we could be. This also means that we might allow the situation to develop in a less positive way. I read a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. I think there's a lot of truth in that phrase there, feel the fear and do it anyway. One day, sooner or later, our time in this life will be up and this life will be over. So our past experiences can also dictate our future experience, what we experience now and what we experience in the future, because we can become programmed and stuck as a result of them. We feel fear because of how we expect things to go, how things went in the past affect what we think will happen in the future. These expectations are not reality, at least not yet. But obviously the more we focus on that, the more we stay stuck in that place, the more likely it is to help create that reality, which is what we don't want. In order to overcome fear and have what you want in life, it's really necessary to let go of these old experiences where they're not serving you and create a new way of being in the world, a new identity that is not limited. Drizzly out that way. Human life is so fragile. It's a miracle that we're here, and I often feel awe and gratitude and amazement that I've lived so long and healthily. We could all die or become sick any time. Think of all the things you've done in this life, everything that's happened, and you're still here. I think that contemplating this simple fact is really powerful. It helps to cultivate gratitude and reverence for life. It helps keep you aware of how you steer your vessel through the storms of life. Lao Tzu said, there is no illusion greater than fear. And he was totally right. Fear exists in the mind. It is created in the mind, and it doesn't exist in the way the mind perceives it to exist. Think about that. I don't know if you've ever heard FEAR, false evidence appearing real. I really like that. False evidence appearing real. Fear. The problem comes when we believe what the mind is telling us is true. And if we believe it, we help create it, because we're focusing on it. So be aware of the present moment with jircha, with self-awareness and self-observation. Watch what you are creating. Reality is created in the present moment. So be aware of what you're creating right now. You are the creator of your reality. So stand in your power and be truly in your heart. I recorded a very useful exercise to help dissolve fear and other difficult emotions and put it on YouTube last week. It's only about 8 minutes long and it can really help. This exercise uses presence, it uses heart and awareness of the patterns to help dissolve fear in a few minutes. Emotion is energy driven by a thought. So the fear that we have in our minds feeds fearful emotion, which has its own powerful energy, it's its own entity. It then helps reinforce that picture in the mind again, and it can become a vicious cycle. So it's really important to be aware of this and catch this cycle before it starts. Or if you haven't managed that, to be aware and stop the process as soon as you realize what's going on, that your state has been affected. Fear, like all emotions, is temporary. It is possible to leave it by using our awareness to accept it. So we're using the heart there with acceptance, trust, openness, and acceptance. When fear is accepted, we will be in our hearts. And acting from the heart is really what will help dissolve the fear constructs that are in the mind. So fear is temporary, but the regret of not taking action when needed will probably last a lot longer. What we fear can be an indication of where we need to go. It can be an indication of coming closer to truth, to our own truth. Nothing is as bad as fear would have us believe it is. Fear narrows our perspective and isolates us from our connection to life. It lowers the immune system and affects body, mind, and chi, our vital energy. So when you feel fear about something, I think it can be helpful to ask ourselves some questions. What is the worst that can happen? And what would I do if this worst case scenario actually did happen? Usually the worst case scenario really isn't as bad as the fear would have you believe. And you will still be alive and well, even if it happens. It's just fear. But what if the worst case scenario is something like death? Then we have to accept that too. If you fully accept the worst possibility, then you will be at peace. And you can plan to make that situation as good as it possibly can be for yourself and for others. When a situation is fully accepted, we can be calm, relaxed, natural, and positive about it. We can see the positive, can see the way forward. In Ren Shi, we call this Ping Chang Xin. Living in fear limits life. It's not fully living. So the question arises, are we more fearful of death or of being fully alive? Being fully alive with love must be why we're here. Why else would we be here? How would you feel if you were dying knowing that you'd not really lived? And wouldn't you have wanted to make things better? So why not really live now? Death is a friend because it reminds us how precious life is. Are we more scared of success or failure? Love is the essence of life, of being in your heart, the foundation of your dreams and your success. So why not say yes to life? Be more committed to your dream than to a mediocre life and your comfort zone. If you do this, your comfort zone will expand and your life will become more extraordinary and live to a fuller potential. Really be the best you can be in every moment. And there's no regrets. Courage is the strength to overcome fear and despair and live a life of integrity, of inspiration, of values, and of achievement. The word courage has its origins, it goes back to the Latin cor, and that means heart. And that original meaning is about expressing the truth in your heart, with strength and determination. When you feel called to act or communicate in a way that may bring disapproval or rejection, courage is required to overcome the fear and not compromise yourself. In the face of fear, be honest with yourself and take responsibility for what you must do with purpose and determination. This is the foundation of building trust in yourself and commanding it from others. It brings respect. Do you love and accept yourself enough to do this? Make a decision to be the best you can be right now, in every moment. To be in your heart with courage. Remember the meaning of the word courage. Heart. And you can live without regret. I've always tried to live the truth of my heart with the work I do and the decisions I've made in my life. At least to a very large extent. But there are still certain elements of the work that I do that my heart's been trying to tell me to let go of for a while. And these elements have been tempting to keep because they're familiar and they're comfortable while bringing in necessary money. But now more than ever, time has come to refine my work even more and to have the courage to step out beyond fear. In that process, stepping beyond fear. There are certain things that I just know that I have to do, and certain things I'm no longer willing to compromise. It's like there's no choice in the matter anymore. I have an overwhelming compulsion not to compromise the truth in my heart. And I really feel that the coronavirus situation is urging us all to follow the truth in our hearts and break out of unhealthy patterns which are compromising all life. Terror and fear are really proving to be the most powerful weapons in our world. But by cultivating a compassionate heart and helping others, we develop confidence that in turn helps develop trust, and collaboration between each other helps develop it further. This is a positive cycle of light, love, gratitude, pure heart and clear thinking. On the other hand, distrust brings fear. Fear leads to frustration and anger, violence, hatred and depression, and actually the other way around too. This is a negative cycle of fear. Ego, doubt, disconnected heart, and unclear thinking. And very broadly speaking, we can look at that and we can say positive emotions are broadly described as variations of love, or can be described that way. And negative emotions can be described as variations of fear. So one is about being in the heart, all those 5 Shin qualities: trust, openness, love, gratitude, respect. And the other is about fear and being disconnected from those. Fear destroys inner peace. And that inner peace is what is required for peace in our homes and our society and our world. So let's make an effort to cultivate heart with courage, a loving, compassionate heart. We all have a choice whether to let circumstances soften our hearts, or whether to let our hearts become harder and more fearful. If we choose fear, we become more self-centered and self-isolated, avoiding and hiding, angry and scared. Whenever you struggle with a difficult emotion, whether it's stress, anger, jealousy, depression or procrastination, fear will be behind the cause, behind the struggle somewhere. And fear doesn't have to have power over you. You are the creator of your reality. You have the power to choose your thoughts and to see other possibilities. Don't become too enslaved in that tunnel vision of fear. Take heart, cultivate a calm mind. Trust yourself and learn to trust the universe. Trust is really powerful. Unconditional trust that the universe is a loving, compassionate friend and teacher will help dissolve fear. We know that in our hearts. Go inside your heart now and feel the universe inside. Life longs for itself. We are all intimately connected in the web of life, bound together by love. We do not exist separately. When we lose the limited perspective of the self and ego, then what is there to fear? If we're connected to everything this way, what is there to fear? We're all one. Be in your heart and feel your connection to everything. Be a vehicle for love. Touch people with heart, with virtue. And visualize reality positively. So, hope you've enjoyed that. And I'd like to end just with a quote from Marianne Williamson, famous quote that probably you already know, but I'm just going to find it and read it. So, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking, so that other people will feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And that was a quote from Marianne Williamson on fear. And rain's starting to get a bit heavier, so I'm going to leave you now. And take care. See you next time.